Today I want to talk about the marketing strategy that will blow you up. The marketplace is always changing and there's always new methods and strategies, but the fundamentals of content and media and building a brand, whether it's your personal brand or a company's brand, always stay the same. Obviously, everyone's going to tell you to ideate content, script it out, post on the major platforms, and just do that consistently until you have a big following. Well, that is part of the fundamentals, and it's absolutely important to stay consistent above all else. That doesn't really help you much because you're looking for strategies that will separate you from the marketplace, because we live in an attention/information economy these days. It's about who can get the most attention, but also who has better information than the next person, because with AI and all the different technology out right now, it's about who has better information. There's people staring, but anyone can go on ChatGPT and just look up basic information. And that's what a lot of people have been doing with the script writing. Whether you're writing a VSL, a video sales letter for your business, whether you're scripting out a YouTube video, whether you're scripting out a reel, a lot of people have just been using AI and putting out AI slop. Even my brother was telling me the other day, his hypothesis is that it's just going to be all AI content and it's going to be all AI slop very soon here. And I'm even seeing the same thing with paid advertising. It's not even if you're just posting organic content, but on paid advertising, even businesses that are doing $5 million a month in revenue, they're using all AI ads. And this is multiple businesses, specifically in the info space. They're doing multiple millions a month in revenue. A lot of it is from AI paid ads. I'm sure you're wondering, like, yeah, all this is cool, Logan, but how can I apply this to make some money and actually have a better life from posting media? Well, what I found is there's 4 parts to this marketing strategy these days. And the number one is YouTube videos, specifically YouTube organic videos. Now, before you click off and you're like, oh, that's so simple, I know to post organic YouTube videos, let me explain. A lot of people just look at them as YouTube videos. But what's really happening is you are posting the best medium of content to not only attract new people in, because you can grow a great audience on YouTube, because that's how the algorithm's set up these days, but it's also the absolute best to nurture your audience, because YouTube has the best SEO out of any other platform out there. I'm sure you've seen a TikTok before and it went absolutely viral. I'm talking 10, 50 million views. And then when you try to search that TikTok up again, you can't find it because TikTok's SEO, Twitter's SEO, Instagram Reels SEO is absolutely terrible. But YouTube, my arms are hurting out here holding the scare, but on YouTube, let's say you posted a video, how to mow your lawn. That's maybe a popular topic that a lot of people are searching up. And I'm sure if you search that up, you'll see videos from 5, 8, 10 years ago. And this shows that YouTube has evergreen content. And when you put all this effort into, say, a 10, 15, 20, even 60-minute YouTube video, it stays on the internet for decades, if not a whole century at this point. YouTube's not even 100 years old, but I predict that we'll see these videos 100 years from now. Now, the next biggest thing that people fail to realize about YouTube Organic is you're basically posting ads for yourself or your company, but you're getting paid to post those ads. YouTube has a great revenue split with their creators. I believe they pay them out around 50-60% of the total revenue that they make on the advertising. And I'm not sure if a lot of people understand how that works, but if you want to run ads on, say, YouTube, which is owned by Google, then you would pay them per 1,000 impressions. And say you're paying them $50 per 1,000 impressions, YouTube would pay you around $25. Obviously, there's fees associated and stuff like that, but that's how you're getting paid by YouTube for every 1,000 views that you get. So not only are you nurturing your audience with evergreen content that's SEO searchable for decades, but you're also posting technically advertisements for your business that you can make money off of and sell a product or service, and you're getting paid to post those advertisements. You're not paying for the ad traffic, you're getting paid for that. It's like posting commercials, but getting paid to post those commercials. The third biggest thing about YouTube Organic is the compounding effect. I'm sure you know about the compounding effect, but most people don't realize how big it is on YouTube. There's more YouTube multimillionaires than there really are on any other platform. Because again, it's like we talked about in the beginning of the video, the fundamentals are easily said, but hard to execute. How many videos have you actually posted week after week, year after year, well, you got 1% better on every video until you hit at least 100, 200, 300 videos. Because even Mr. Beast, the largest creator on the platform, someone that became a billionaire in his early 20s, he even says it himself. He's like, until you posted 100 YouTube videos and you just got 1% better on each one, you shouldn't even expect any results. This makes YouTube Organic the crown jewel of whatever you're trying to do. YouTube should be the #1 priority for anyone out there. And it's honestly my favorite platform too, because you have to think of it from the perspective, like, the audience you're trying to attract, what types of videos are they watching? Are you the type of person that's just watching a lot of brain rot content on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that? Or are you maybe watching like podcasts, like long podcasts and stuff like that? Because a longer video isn't always better. I think short form is probably a little too short to get some substantial information, but podcasts are a little too long, where a lot of times they end up repeating themselves and sounding redundant on camera. And this is where YouTube's a happy medium in between the two. And a lot of people will watch YouTube videos to get the information at a high level, but also quickly and efficiently. So the strategy to post YouTube videos is simply go through the process, ideate that video, ideation, and the overall idea of your video, the title, thumbnail, the packaging is absolutely #1. David Ogilvy says 80% of your advertising dollar is spent in the headline. And it's the same thing with YouTube. The packaging is 80% of it. Now, obviously the quality of the video and everything is extremely important as well. But first you want to ideate, then you want to script that out. And you shouldn't start recording until you have a title, a thumbnail idea, and you've made sure that idea is proven, or at least you're trying out a new idea. Obviously, once you have a script, you can utilize AI to help you with that. But then you're going to want to record that video, make sure the audio is good, make sure the video quality is good, and then post it. Doing this 100 times and just getting a little bit better each time, you'll see the compounding effect, and it will be huge over time. Now, once you're posting YouTube videos at least once or twice a week consistently, depending on your style of content and your strategy, you want to go into paid advertising. Paid advertising is the second part of this marketing strategy that will absolutely blow you up, because paid advertising is infinitely scalable. I'm putting it at #2 because I believe it's above the other methods, but it's not quite as good as YouTube Organic. Like we talked about before, the main platforms that are best to do paid advertising on right now for most companies is going to be Meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram, and then also YouTube ads. And you're paying per 1,000 impressions, and with ads, you always want to track the last metric in the funnel you have. So a lot of times, if you're just selling a product or service right on your website, like an e-commerce brand or a software, you just want to see your ROI. How much are you spending on ads? How many sales are you getting? What's the ROI, return on investment? Now, if you have a higher ticket service, like an info product or an in-person mastermind or speaking or something like this, generally you're gonna have a call funnel, meaning somebody hops on a call to sell that individual. And with the call funnel, it's harder to track the specific ROI. You still should, but in this type of funnel, you also want to be looking at metrics like cost per lead and cost per book call. Because you know, if your close rate is X amount and you book X amount of calls, then you should get a sale. And then after that, you're also looking at cost per acquisition. And it's the absolute same thing with paid ads here. You can't expect to spend $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 if you have a high ticket service or product and hit it on your first try. I personally have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not $1 million at this point, on paid advertising, and I still have done nothing. There's people out there spending tens of millions, $100 million a month on paid advertising. So you really have to put the reps in, and it's cool to read the books and look at the courses and stuff like that, but the only way to get good at running paid ads is to run more paid ads. So now that you've got YouTube Organic going, this is your nurturing process, the crown jewel of your business/personal brand. And now that you have paid advertising going, the third part of the strategy is going to be high quality reels. Now, I'm not talking about clipping here. I'm talking about high quality reels within your niche. This is going to be on platforms like mainly Instagram Reels, but you'll post these on TikTok, Facebook, platforms like this as well. You want to start posting Reels, again, consistently, and in marketing, you want to find what works, double down on that, and cut out the bad. So you want to post Reels, say once a day, maybe 3 times a day, depending on the type of content or style you're going with, until you find something that hits, and then just double down on that. And same thing. Whenever you're looking at Reels to post, you want to look at the content that's doing well within your niche and going viral. You don't want to just be random or uncalculated with what you're posting. So let's say you're a fitness coach and you're trying to see what content's going viral. We'll just find the top fitness influencers in your niche, say the top 10 or 20 people, and you want to follow them. And then you can use tools. I believe on Instagram, they do it within the Instagram app these days, but you can filter by most popular. Same thing on YouTube. Find the most popular videos, analyze what works, study those videos, copy the hooks, and change it to your information. It's called stealing like an artist. You want to take the best things from all over and then make it your own. Now for reels, again, I'd recommend starting out with one high quality reel a day, maybe 6 days a week, training an editor and hiring an editor on this process. And then once you've got that consistent, you can scale from there. Now, once you've been able to stay consistent with YouTube videos and see some results, once you've been able to spend some money on paid ads, see some results, once you've been able to spend on reels, see some results, the fourth part of the strategy, and probably the most important and the newest, is clipping, streaming, collaborations, hopping on podcasts. After you set the foundation with the first three, and to be fair, you can scale your business or personal brand with just those three, or even one of those three, but the four parts of the strategy, all the top people are doing. So hopefully you're making some decent money now, or bringing in some revenue with your personal brand or business. And now you can start to invest in, say, clipping campaigns. This is where you set a budget of, say, 10 or 20K a month. You recruit a couple hundred editors to a Discord or a group, and then they get paid for clipping your content, and they get paid when it gets views. So it's based on performance. With podcasts, it's pretty simple. It's about reaching out to the big podcasts. You should have a decent brand built at this point, and they're going to want to collaborate. And if they don't want to collaborate, just pay them their fee. Offer them the $10,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is. I know even Andrew Tate, he charges $50,000 for a collaboration. Now, not to say anything specific about Tate, but there's big names out there that will do it for a price. And once you got some momentum, once you're on one big podcast or two big podcasts, now the third guy's going to want to get you, and it all goes with the clipping strategy. You have editors that are clipping these podcasts, that are clipping all this content from your YouTube, and this is where it starts to go parabolic and exponential with all of it. And again, collaborations are huge as well. People have been doing this forever, but collaborating with people within your niche and people not within your niche, maybe sharing ideas, stuff like that. Again, pay these people, reach out to them, like make a dream list of the 100 people you want to work with, and then send a message to them or figure out like who's on their team and how you can get through to them. There's no excuses. You can always find a way. Now, these are the four parts to the marketing strategy that will absolutely blow you up. And I'm going to make more videos going in depth about the different ones specifically, but marketing really interests me. And a lot of it is human psychology. It's about persuading someone to take an action that will help them in their life in some way. Because whatever product or service you're selling, or whatever you're making content about with your personal brand, hopefully you're doing it in a positive way to actually help people. And streaming is probably the biggest one out of all these, but again, you want to set the foundation. You want to become the type of person that has something interesting to speak on, or is even confident to speak in the first place, because it takes time to work up to that, and you want to put money behind the streaming, or else it's going to be very difficult to blow up. But the biggest creators these days, they're all streaming. I believe IShowSpeed, I think he's like around 20 years old. He just signed a $600 million contract for streaming. And there's a ton of other streamers that are making tens of millions a year, if not have already made a couple $100 million. Because all four parts of the strategy, they work together. They all compound on each other. If you're posting reels, those people are going to go to your YouTube videos. If you're making paid advertising, those people are going to, again, watch your YouTube videos and then convert at a higher rate. If you're collaborating with other people and you're streaming with them, going on podcasts, then they're going to go to your Instagram and see your reels. Then they're going to go to your YouTube and see what's going on there. And they all work together to create this massive marketing strategy in today's modern age that is absolutely crushing for people. So the way you want to keep track of this is using a software like Notion or Google Docs or calendars or whatever, and basically setting a content schedule and making sure to stick with that. Build a team around you, editors, script writers, even hire a creative director once you have the money, and make sure you're hiring A-level players, because A-level players hire other A-level players, and B players hire C players. So the first B player hire is the start of the downfall of your organization. If you study people like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, John D. Rockefeller, they all talk about ruthlessly hiring A players within their organization. And it's the same thing with editors, script writers, creative directors, anyone on your media and marketing team, copywriters, media buyers. you want them all to be A-level players because A players want to work with other A-level players. So again, go take action with this marketing strategy. Let me know how it goes in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.